Hello, dear students. Welcome to the Bajirao IS Academy. Today is 29th December and we are going to cover the daily Hindu newspaper analysis. So, in today's session, we have to cover three important issues. And the first issue is related to India's maritime shipbuilding. Historically, we were very good manufacturer in terms of shipbuilding, but now we are seeing that the shipbuilding culture in India practically became zero. So we will be analyzing why it became zero and how we can improve it, because when we focus on shipbuilding, so it has the strategic importance apart from the economic significance, apart from the social significance, because it can generate employment at very high level. Then further, we will be shifting towards the second editorial, where we will be discussing about how illegal migration is becoming an important concern for India, and some of the factors which is responsible is like farmer crisis. And we have seen the recent incident where the 303 Indians were detained for illegal entry into France, and now they are being deported. So, why this crisis is happening and how we can solve it, we are going to analyze. Then, further, we will be moving to the last article where we will be focusing on India-Russia relation with related to the context of our foreign minister visit as Jaisankar to Russia. Okay, so let's start our session. And before that, if you are new to our channel, please do like, share, and subscribe. So, coming to the first article, it can be related to GS paper 2. So, when we talk about the importance of a river, so it can be used for the agricultural purpose, for irrigation, for the drinking purpose, and apart from that, for creation of energy. We know the significance of river, but there are many more significance. Specifically, it can be used as a transportation purpose. It can be used for economic significance, and hence China, which uses its river at max potential, like they uses the river for the shipbuilding purpose, and apart from that, the domestic commerce and global trade. And I am taking you as an example here about Yangtze River. So please do prepare about this river, because it can be a potential question for UPSC prelims. So when we talk about Yangtze River, you are seeing that this is East China Sea, this is Yellow Sea, and this blue color line is your Yangtze River. Look at it. It is draining into the East China Sea. And now just focus that there are very important cities located here, like Shanghai, like Wuhan, and there are many cities. So these cities are like located along this river, and these are very huge industrial hub, industrial in terms of manufacturing. And here there is a culture of shipbuilding in these locations. And apart from that, any production which happens along this location, they gets transported via this river to the East China Sea, and from East China Sea to different country. It can be to Europe, it can be to North America, to South America, and it can be to India as well. So understanding the significance of the river, so China utilized this. But when we talk about India, so India mainly restricted the use and expansion of river only either for the religious purpose, for the irrigation purpose, or apart from drinking water. Okay, so do you think that India have to be moving towards in this direction, utilizing the river? Because we have lots of river. We have two important big river in northern India, and also in southern India we have Godavari, Kaveri. It can be utilized for the domestic and the global trade purpose. Because when we see the map of India, so there are huge coastline, okay, and these rivers do connect with these either Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea. So that is the important significance. And when we talk about northern India, which are the two big river, that is Ganga and Brahmaputra, but we are not utilizing it for the economic purpose for the trade and transportation, although we have the national highway credited, but the potential is not being utilized as much as possible as the China is doing. So that is the significance of the river, and hope you understood. And now when we talk about some historical perspective, so India once upon a time historically was very high manufacturer in terms of shipbuilding, specifically when we talk about the colonial history of India. But slowly, India shifted its focus from manufacturing of the ships towards like giving service as a pilot, as a seafarer. So our focus from manufacturer shifted towards seafaring services or providing other services or third party services. So this eroded the culture of manufacturing the ships in India, and China, which started later, like in 1980s, after 1980s onwards, China started into the field of manufacturing the ships. And look, China's success. Like there are many more companies in China that provides for sea ships manufacturing. So here we lagged. But when we talk about how China growth developed, so basically China's dedicated government plans that promoted the shipbuilding manufacturing, that promoted the location of industrial hubs and manufacturing sector alongside the river. So that was the benefit. And although India have its own strength in terms of seafaring and management, but practically we do not have a strength in terms of the shipbuilding manufacturing. Only limited companies are there that manufactures ship building. Okay, and why India is in a strength related to seafaring and management? It is all because the seafarer training and employment demands, because we have the huge supply of labor force, and we just give them the skills, the language skill, because English language becomes very important if we have to devolve towards seafaring and management. And India's expertise in ship management is there, and apart from that there is cost efficiency as well. However, there is a huge benefit coming from these services towards India, like in terms of foreign exchange earning. India on every year earns about $6 billion in terms of foreign exchange. So that is the benefit. But as we told you earlier, that India missed opportunity in terms of shipbuilding and manufacturing as we try to compare with China. Why? Because India focused on short-term market, and when we focus on short-term goals, the long-term goals becomes hidden, and maybe we are not able to harness the long-term benefits. And apart from that, there was investment challenge. There were earlier the policy barriers, and slowly these policy barriers also removed. How it removed? Because government allowed the private sector to enter into the manufacturing, but there was financial crisis, there was like restrictions from the private sector towards investing such a huge amount. So these were many factors apart from vague government plans with little impact on shipbuilding sector. Okay, so that's why we can analyze that by 2020 India's share in global shipbuilding has dropped to practically zero. But as compared to China, so China succeeded in this sector. However, China was succeeded because of the government backing, and you know the policy or the government strategy in China, like they invest huge in these type of manufacturing there are huge funding, and also they have the longer strategic vision, because this type of manufacturing if have a bigger goal, so these are going to benefit in terms of a strategic participation. Okay, and you can observe that half of the world's ship built in China as of 2020. Do you understand the economic benefits of the China, the strategic significance for the China, as well as the employment generation? So that is the significance. That's why China is moving ahead, but we are stuck in terms of shipbuilding and manufacturing. However, Government of India took many steps like Maritime Agenda 2020, which sought to increase India's share of global shipbuilding from less than 2% to modest 5%. But the share is also very less. And again, we have the Maritime India Vision 2030, but this vision do not mention any plan for shipbuilding and ship owning. However, the government decentralized maritime training and opened it up for private players. But in terms of private sector participation in shipbuilding, the share is very minimal. So, what lessons can India learn? So, first of all, we need to understand that shipbuilding is very crucial for manufacturing capacity and a strategic power. It generates employment, it generates economic benefits. Okay, and apart from that, many ships are coming towards Indian Ocean, going from Indian Ocean. Let's say in some of the ships there is a damage, so India can provide the repairing service. So this can also be a boosting up for our economy, for our maritime economy. So we need to understand it. And the global demand of shipbuilding is also very high, because majority of the trade all over the world happens through water body, and that is the significance of it. So we need to have innovation, creativity in terms of shipbuilding, so that other company which is not providing that services, we can provide it, and that can benefit India in a stronger way. And also we can have a strong naval base, because it requires a robust shipbuilding industry. And India's potential is also there because of the long coastline, strategic location, and a skilled workforce. So we need a clear-cut government policy support for shipbuilding and owning. And for that, investing in shipbuilding is very important to have a global presence in terms of the water body, in terms of the strategic importance, because strategic importance gets increased if you have the presence in various dimensions. Okay, so India needs to seize the opportunity and claims its rightful place in the maritime world. So that is the crux of this article. And tell me about what is the other significance of the blue economy if we are trying to promote it. So tell me 5 to 10 points, or tell me the 10 important significance if we are trying to get involved in the blue economy. So comment it. And now we are shifting to the second article. It can be related to GS paper 1. So when we talk about migration, so migration, it can be the forceful migration, and it can be the structural migration. So when we talk about forceful migration, what does it mean? Like some factors are there, some scenarios are occurring, and it can be immediate scenario, like there can be a disaster, there can be insurgency, there can be the terrorist activity. So because of this, the people will be moving from the disturbed location to the well location. But if the person is moving from one country to another country, he or she will be called as illegal immigrants. Okay, and maybe the other nation will not allow to enter these people, and they will be stuck nowhere. So that is the important thing. However, when we talk about in terms of a structural migration, it can be due to the push factor and pull factor. We will be understanding what you mean by it. But in India, we have a recent incident where 303 Indians detained in France, and mostly like they are being deported to India back. But why? These were like doing illegal migration. Illegal migration means They do not have the valid visa to visit France, but indirectly via third party, via middlemen, they are approached to get there. Okay, so there is a chances like they are seeking asylum, or they can be the victims of trafficking. Where it can be the women, it can be the men. And when we try to talk about it a broader perspective, so this type of crisis is very much visible in India, but the data is not getting highlighted much in the media. However, we can quote here like there is an alarming rise in Indian attempts to enter the US illegally. And as per the US official report, there is over 1 lakh case between 2022-23 where the Indians try to like enter USA without valid visa. So that is the big concern. And how these people try to enter. So first of all, there is the presence of middlemen. Middlemen like they provide attraction, like give me money of about 50 lakh, 60 lakh. We will be providing you the like access to USA. Okay, and there is a, if you see the location of USA, so there is like sharing with the Mexico, boundary sharing with the Mexico. So what happens like people from India, they will be migrated, they will be like first of all located at different location, then further they will be shifted to Mexico, then via like middleman they gets passed via Mexico border. That's why you will be hearing lots of time that in the Trump administration there was a bill that proposed to create like great wall between the borders of USA and Mexico. So this was to curb the illegal immigration. So that is the thing. And when we talk about in which region, from which region the Indians mostly try to ship to that country, can be from Punjab, Haryana, Gujarat as the hottest spot, and the middleman presence is also very high, and they are nearer to the like capital of India, Delhi. So these middlemen and the peoples find it easy to get various services. Okay, and that affects the people, the family. Okay, so when we talk about the factors responsible for it, so it can be the push factor and the pull factor, and you can use it for the domestic migration as well. You know about domestic migration and like international migration. Yes, in domestic migration you move from one district to other district, one region to other, but within your territory. But in international you move from one state to one country to other country. Okay, so there can be the push factor, and when we talk about push factor, that means the region, the location where you are lying, where you are residing, is not giving you the enough opportunity, whether it is related to livelihood, it is related to the work, it is related to the food security. So that's why this region is compelling you just move away to different location to get the desired like livelihood. So this is the push factor, because this region is pushing you, just go away, just go away. And it can be due to the economic distress, like in the agriculture sector, people are not finding that much income, okay, to sustain their livelihood. And apart from that, there is rising agricultural debts, crisis, the climate change, disaster. So this can be one of the factor. And apart from that, the exploitative practices of the middlemen in the labor market that traps the younger people in the debt and desperation. And we can have a social issue like potential factor like religious persecution or lack of opportunity as well. So these are push factor. There can be many more factor, but when we talk about the pull factor, like the destination location is pulling you, just come here because we have lots of opportunity in terms of employment, in terms of the jobs, in terms of income, in terms of security. So these are pulling factor, and it can be due to the misinformation and manipulation. Like we see various videos in social media, the life enjoyed by many people in the USA, UK, Canada, all of that, and people gets attracted. Oh yes, we will be going here. We will be like enjoying our life. So that is one scenario. And apart from that, economic magnet, because these developed nation or the economy have huge job market potential, so people do perceive going there. And also there can be the personal aspirations, the legitimate desire for a better future and opportunity. Okay, so that is the thing. And there are many more factors you can comment in the comment box. And here we need to break this cycle, because this is not like one day scenario. This happens every day, every month, every year, and many people comes under the trap of the middleman. And even there is a various cases that people are dying lonely in a desert region in different country, and they were like aiming for going to USA, Canada, or various developed country. So these are the things. And apart from that, there are security concerns, because maybe the middlemen can loot them, their money, their assets, while in the pathway, in the journey. So that can be another scenario. So we need to break the cycle, and for that a multi-pronged approach is required, where government intervention is very very necessary. And here we can invest in the rural development, so that farmers which are in distress should not be in the distress, and the income levels should be increased, so that their livelihood should be spent in a better and in a dignified manner. And also infrastructure, education, and shifting from agriculture to the manufacturing and the services sector is also very very important. And also we need to have agricultural reforms to improve farm incomes and sustainability. And apart from that, community engagement, awareness program, international cooperation between different nations are required. So that is the thing. Hope you understood. Now we are shifting to the third article and the last article, which can be related to GS paper 2. So when we talk about India-Russia relation, historically our relation is much more prosperous, specifically after 1971 India-Russia Friendship Treaty. And after that treaty, we were like more collaborative with USSR. Now it's Russia. And we have various relations in terms of defense, in terms of importing coal, crude, and many more items. Also people to people ties are also very very collaborative. So that is the thing that attaches, that like acts as a magnet that makes these two nations very very closer. And recently we are seeing the crisis in terms of the global concerns, whether it is related to Russia Ukraine war and the economic sanctions and other sanctions imposed on Russia. So we were facing the crisis in terms of the economic sanction, like we cannot import very much from Russia because there is a currency restrictions. Okay, so that was the thing. But our cooperation and friendship is far beyond that, and hence to showcase our external minister of affairs S Jaisankar, he visited to Russia for 5 day schedule, and there was warm welcome. And do you know the significance of this meet? Like Mr. Putin, he broke the protocol, and he personally went to meet Mr. S. Jaisankar. However, you may be knowing that these top leaders always try to meet the top leaders of the other nation, not the minister. So that is very significant, like message from Russia that we are very very close friend. Apart from that, issues discussed like defense supplies we will be trying to encourage, and also continued issue over paying Russia for imports in third currency, because there is a restrictions in terms of dollar exchange. And also there was a talk about delayed delivery of S-400 air system units. And do you know about this air system? I think like uh, UPSC is more focusing on these items as well, so to try to focus much. And there is a further collaboration between India and Russia, like we will be collaborating with Russia in terms of like building Kundakulam nuclear power project, the reactor. And tell me where this power reactor is located, and this can be your match the following question in the UPSC prelims. And apart from that, we will be first studying the connectivity, because when we talk about the location of Russia, it is like far in the north, farthest we can say. And when we talk about India, it is located nearby equator. Okay, so whenever there will be the trade, so distance is very very huge, and that's why it increases the cost, it increases the like connectivity barrier. So we will be focusing on how we can foster the connectivity. And apart from that, trade should be much more diverse, not only restricted to defense, not only restricted to oil and coal. It should be diverse. And also, there is a talk about resuming the Eurasian Economic Union India Free Trade Agreement, and apart from that, joint military production should be there. So here the technology exchange can be there, and here employment generation will be there. Okay, apart from that, our defense capability is going to increase. And also, annual summit is going to resume in 2020-24, because from 2021 2023 this summit was not happening. Okay, so that is the thing. And also, Russia is going to host the expanded BRICS summit next year. And tell me the new members of the BRICS. It will be very, very important for the prelims examination. Try to prepare the BRICS topic. Okay, and here, as Desankar also said, that the India-Russia relationship was the only constant relationship in the world politics over the last 6 decades. And here you can use it for the mains answer writing. This statement is very, very important. Okay, however, there is the geopolitical and the strategic convergence between India and Russia. Okay, but what we are seeing, that many nations, okay, they may like watching our relationship, and they will be trying to influence us, but our relationship is stronger and stronger. So that is the end of the article, friend. Hope you enjoyed in a great detail. And now this is the last session of the video, and here you have to solve the prelims question. And the question, you can pause it and comment your answer in the chat box. We will be replying you with the correct answer. So thank you, friends. Have a nice day. Enjoy your day. Thank you.